Welcome to Mr. Chalk's Revision Tips. In this video, we will look at negative feedback, a few examples of negative feedback, and thyroxine. A negative feedback mechanism is an important type of control which is found in homeostasis. So a negative feedback control system responds when conditions change from an ideal or set point and returns conditions back to that set point. So there is a continuous cycle of events in a negative feedback system. So in general, this works by if the level of something rises, the control system will do something to reduce it. If the level of something falls, then the control system will do something to raise it again. So negative feedback involves a response that is the reverse of a change detected. So examples of things that use this are negative feedback homeostatic loops, such as thermoregulation, so to control body temperature, blood sugar regulation, which is controlled by insulin and glucagon, osmoregulation, which is the control of water within the body. So an example of negative feedback, or if we're looking at explaining negative feedback, it is the turning off of a corrective measure as the system returns to normal. So for instance, if you're too warm, you sweat, this cools you down, which in turn stops you from sweating because you don't want to cool down anymore. Right, so that's your example of a negative feedback loop. So a negative feedback loop which happens to a variable like temperature when it increases past its normal state, so it decreases it until it resumes this normal state. So thyroxine is an example of a hormone in the body. So thyroxine is produced from the thyroid gland, which stimulates the basal metabolic rate. So it controls the speed at which oxygen and food products react to release energy for the body to use. Thyroxine plays an important role in the growth and development of a growing child and a normal person. So thyroxine levels are controlled by a negative feedback loop. So low thyroxine levels in the bloodstream stimulate the hypothalamus to release TRH, and this causes the pituitary gland to release thyroxine stimulating hormone. So thyroxine is released more by the thyroid gland, so therefore the concentration of thyroxine in the blood will return back to a normal level. So normal thyroxine levels in the bloodstream inhibit TRH release from the hypothalamus, and this inhibits the release of TSH from the pituitary gland, so normal blood levels of thyroxine are maintained. So a doctor diagnosed a person with an underactive thyroid gland to explain why an underactive thyroid gland could cause a patient to feel tired or have an increased body mass. So some of the key things you would need to talk about is the fact that the thyroid gland is producing thyroxine. Thyroxine is helping regulate the metabolic rate. An underactive thyroid gland would mean that less thyroxine is produced, so therefore metabolism would drop. So they'd feel tired because they would have less energy released from the food, and more fat storage would happen because that food wasn't being metabolized, so therefore a person's body mass would increase. Thanks for watching.